Welcome, everybody, to another episode of GQ, a wrestling podcast. This is Justin and Garrett. We are in episode 33 of the podcast. Tonight, we go right into the heavy stuff with the WWE and the things with Vince McMahon. So this is just the little bitty intro of telling us to get ready for another episode of GQ Wrestling Podcast. In the words of Garrett, how he would normally do the intro. And here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week 33 this week of GQ a Wrestling Podcast. We're just gonna jump right in because the last 7 days since we recorded, obviously there was something that happened before we recorded last week that we didn't really get to talk about a lot, which was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson being appointed to
TKO,
the board of directors of TKO.
Yeah.
Part of that deal was he actually got the rights to use The Rock,
which is
and
huge.
not have to pay for it.
Which is huge because WWE is so sticklerish with name, image, and likeness. Huge. It's they're super big on name, image, and likeness, that they own all the rights. Like they own John Cena, they owned The Rock. So maybe it's just going to open up avenues and revenues.
The crazy thing is like, after everything that he did for this company, he stayed during the Attitude Era. He's been huge for years and years and years and years. Mark Calloway can't use The Undertaker.
No.
If he's going to go do an appearance, it has to be as Mark Calloway, not as The Undertaker.
It's so crazy. I think TKO, though, is going to go in and start opening up the names that are made it famous for the last 30 years and going, hey, here you go. Here you go. Here you go.
Yeah, thank you
for
your contribution. Here's this.
It's crazy to think that this whole TKO brand merger has brought out a lot of good. Also,
it's brought out
a lot of evil.
It's brought out a lot of good, and one particular really bad instance that outweighs all the good shit.
It's unfortunate, but true. Because there was so much good that was coming from the TKO merger, and then all of a sudden, it broke open.
All of a sudden, Vince McMahon.
Like the wall opened up. Like the kid that had his finger in the dam was holding on, and then a bulldozer came through and said, fuck it. We're knocking this bitch down.
Right.
And they knocked the wall. If you're not familiar, people, humanoids, this whole Vince McMahon thing has gotten bad.
If you listen to this podcast,
which you should,
and you're not familiar with what we are talking about, have you been like living in the middle of nowhere with no internet? Have you not been seeing, reading, watching anything?
It's bad.
Because if you follow any type of wrestling on any type of social media,
right,
you've heard about this.
And it's even with us down here, and then the big boys that are out there, it's everywhere.
It doesn't matter. It's all over Facebook. It's all over, dude. It is everywhere on Twitter.
Well,
it is everywhere. It's on TikTok. It's on Instagram. It is literally.
It's big enough
everywhere.
News. It's on CNN. Like it broke major airwaves on. Like it popped up on my Instagram, but it was on CNN. If you're not familiar with what happened, we'll dive into the aerial listeners and the visual listeners. Vince McMahon and the TKO deal. He was the big piece in the TKO deal. TKO said they were not going to buy WWE without having Vince involved with the deal. That's one of their major benefactors of having them involved with WWE, was having Vince a part of the deal. Vince was already out. Vince had already been done with his stuff. And then TKO said, we will open up your asking price and we will open up the checkbooks. But here's the thing. We want Vince a part of the deal. So Vince came back a part of this TKO deal. And we started, wow, you blocking out the tism with that?
No, just
Wow. What?
continue.
I can't, because that's on your face. What? But what is? Why?
Need my sunglasses.
Yeah.
Is this wear my sunglasses inside?
What? Were you trying to block out the haters?
No. I wanted to get your reaction, and we got it live. We got it live.
And best what is that? More than likely, it'll be a clip later, and it'll be on social media, and I'm hoping it'll have its own thing. Anyways, back to whatever I was saying. TKO wanted Vince a part of the deal. That was their thing. They needed him a part of the deal. He came back because of the deal, even with the lawsuit in the midst of it.
So now, with everything out there now,
everything.
do you think Ari Emanuel regrets?
With the R's and the W's?
He regrets being like, we have to have Vince McMahon.
I think so. I think everybody. Okay. Everything that has come out, it now has brought me back in the time machine and remembering women leaving and all of a sudden randomly leaving, and we never knew why. We never understood why. I think of like Ashley, is it Mazzaro?
Mazzaro, yeah.
I remember that she was at the top of her game, and then all of a sudden she left, like gone. And then you had Tori Wilson, Stacy Keibler. You had all these women that were during the peak of that era of Vince being on screen, doing the stuff that was kind of creepy, cringy, the stuff that you were like,
you mean like leading Trish around on a leash?
You mean like him sitting at a desk in the middle of the ring and Stacy doing what she did on the stage? You mean having a live sex show on screen with Edge and Lita and getting all the side boob you've ever seen in your whole life?
No, that wasn't side boob, dude.
That was all boob.
That was whole ass titty.
That was all boob. You mean like the bra and panties matches that were happening all in the 90s and 2000s that now they don't do that anymore? You mean everything that was involved with Vince that anything risque whatsoever?
Okay. I'm gonna throw this out there.
You're the devil's advocate on this one. At the time,
being a
young teenager, it was amazing.
It was awesome.
It was
great.
That's probably another reason why my family didn't allow it in the household.
Now, looking back, and seeing the progression of women in wrestling, it's like,
right.
Jesus fucking Christ, what was that?
I can't even.
Could you imagine that now?
No, and they're like, we even see on AEW some of the cheeky the girls, what they wear now, it's a little more cheekier on AEW. They can get away with it, but now WWE's starting to get there now too with the outfits that they're wearing, ring attire. I apologize.
Yeah,
it's starting to get more.
That stuff gets a little cheeky.
But if you haven't read some of the stuff that Vince has said to the woman that has come out, it's pornographic. It's blatant, simple. It's pornographic.
Putting it lightly, it's pornographic. And
I feel like obviously this podcast is not a for children listening anyway, and I'm not going to read what we saw.
No.
It's not my place. It is out there. If you want to find it, it is out there to read.
There is a 67-page document that it's public record. It's public knowledge. If you want to go online and find it, download it, read it. I listened to Conrad Thompson talk with Eric Bischoff and Jeff Jarrett about it. And Eric Bischoff's reaction was visceral.
Good word.
And he just immediately he's like, it's sick.
I think
it's sick and evil.
What I said to you, I felt disgusted reading it, but it felt vile. It felt like pure, honestly, pure evil was pouring out of this man, and we saw entertainment for years because of it. But there was also lingering stuff behind it that we never thought was even happening.
Well, and this woman is going to.
She's gonna win a lot of money.
Vince is gonna write a nice. Well, and if she was smart, she'd have that money put into like an IRA or something instead of him writing a check. However, that's neither here nor there. Everything that I have heard, and so Conrad downloaded this document and read it on the flight from Alabama to
Tampa for the Royal Rumble
because they did Top Guy Weekend.
Yeah,
he read it on the flight, and
he had to have gotten sick to his stomach.
His initial reaction was, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
and then like as he started to process it, he said that he's got some inner turmoil. He's trying to come to grips with his fandom because think about it.
Right.
The wrestling that we fell in love with growing up was because of Vince McMahon.
That's where I struggle with it right now.
And like it's hard to see. I mean, it's not hard to watch the product because the people that are running the show now are doing an amazing job, and this in no way should reflect on the talent. No, unless your name is Brock Lesnar.
And we'll get into that a little too.
But it doesn't cast a poor reflection on the current product, and I mean, hindsight being what it is, yes, it casts poorly on certain aspects of the old product,
right?
But the wrestling, the entertainers of yesteryear, I don't necessarily think that this casts negatively on them either. This is the fault of one person,
right? I think what will end up happening is that it's that big deep breath that you can finally exhale out and go, okay, this is a fresh start, brand new. It's like WrestleMania reset. After WrestleMania is over, you get let's start the new script and begin on with the next thing.
And I think now, honestly, I think Ari Emanuel and Nick Khan are going to look to Dwayne Johnson to be their Shaq.
I think so too. Oh, dude, brand ambassador on every single thing. Oh, of course. And honestly, we shit on Dwayne all the time, thinking he was not in WWE that long. How many years? 6 years. That's it. Not a very long career. But when you think of WWE and you think of mainstream mega superstars that are now actors in the world, you think of that guy.
He is literally the biggest star on the planet.
Yeah. Honestly, and he's even been approached to run for good old El Presidente.
I don't think he will.
No, he won't either, but I'm saying he's been approached to do it.
But the fact that The Rock being for WWE what Shaq is
to the NBA.
For Papa John's.
Papa John's, the general, anything that he's a part of.
See, here's the thing. Papa John isn't in the public eye
I know
anymore,
what you're talking
remember?
about. Okay, I forgot about that.
So
That's right.
now we have Shaq, and Shaq has done for Papa John's what I firmly believe that Dwayne Johnson now is going to do for WWE. He took that board seat not knowing any of this was going to happen because this broke on Friday.
Yeah.
And he was appointed to the board on Monday.
It's so funny is that he was a part of the New York Stock Exchange thing with Hunter with that TKO thing when they're all live, and it was awesome to see them all together. I think it's funny that you have our former stars of yesterday now running the things and being the CEOs that they are, and they're doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
So we're gonna stop with this Vince McMahon garbage, and we're gonna go right into how Royal Rumble was, because Royal Rumble, I thought, wow, you're so giddy and cheery.
He got hurt.
Are you done? Are you done?
No.
Do you feel better about it now? You feel better?
No.
Feel good inside?
Yeah, okay. It's great.
It's right there. It's like chest tinglies. Oh, yeah. So it's
running down my arm, kind of.
That's called a heart attack. If you're feeling tingly and numb, that's a heart attack or a stroke. You okay? Okay. So we'll start at the beginning of the Royal Rumble. Women's Royal Rumble, I thought was better than the men's. Truly. I truly do.
Realistically, both Rumble matches this year weren't great.
The whole card wasn't great, in my opinion. It really wasn't.
Match of the night was fucking Logan Paul and Kevin Owens.
And that ended in debauchery and buffoonery.
Shenanigans!
But we go...
Shenanigans everywhere!
Chickens?
No.
Look at all those chickens.
Shenanigans.
So, Women's Royal Rumble, we got to see TNA.
Well, let's back up just a little bit.
No.
So, number one came out.
Yeah.
Natalia.
Yep.
By
the way, we're going back to check our receipts, because we have a laundry list of receipts to go after, because I believe we had some good receipts to go back on from last week.
Called Naomi.
We did call Naomi. That is true.
Number two.
2.
And then progression. Who had fucking TNA Knockouts champion Jordan Grace on their bingo card?
So it's so sad because there's mixed reactions with her being there.
Yeah.
Mainly,
I love her.
I was shocked because I didn't know she was there. But there were people on the Twitter land that dropped that she was in the building, she was there. So some people were not shocked that she was there, but then there were a lot of the world that was very shocked that she was there.
And it's really funny because TNA did a TV taping on Friday.
Yeah.
In Orlando.
So they're not too far away. Tampa, Orlando, St. Petersburg. It's right there.
And it's really funny. I saw just a little snippet from her. Scott D'Amore, who runs TNA, called her.
I love Scott D'Amore. Just saying.
And was like, "How do you feel about being in the Rumble?" She's like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, front row along the barricade. You just jump over and clean house.
Do the Michelle McCool."
And she's like, "No, like not even announced. She was just gonna jump in and
jump in and like just take over."
And she's like, I mean, no." Well, and then he broke the news. He's like, "I got a phone call from WWE. They want you to be in the Royal Rumble." Which Endeavor owns streaming rights to TNA.
Yeah.
So I think we might.
It's gonna happen.
Possibly.
It's gonna happen.
Well, and we saw Jordan Grace, and I was like, okay, so are we gonna see Moose?
I was hoping to see Moose.
I was hoping
to see Moose.
But we didn't get Moose. Whatever.
So it's really funny because, I'm not familiar with her theme. Was not familiar with her theme song. So I'm sitting here watching it and I heard the doo-doo-doo-doo, and I'm like, I was waiting for holla if you hear me. I was like, wait, hold on. Why is Big Papa Pump coming out? That made no sense. And then I saw her.
It's the big bad booty daddy. That's who's coming out.
Holla if you hear me. I was waiting for the but I
gotta use my other arm to get this.
I was so happy to see her because she was. If you looked at her, she was the genuine. That's probably the biggest crowd she's ever been in front of.
She's got muscles in places where we don't even have muscles.
I have fat. By the way, my clip of me being fat went kind of not viral, but it went to enough that I had like 700 views. The world knows I'm fat.
But how about at the very beginning of the show, just hearing, "Let's go!"
You cried inside.
And I was like,
you cried inside.
Fuck.
You cried inside. Pat McAfee is back in WWE full time on Monday Night Raw with Michael Cole.
How much money is this motherfucker making, dude? Because he's making $18 million a year from ESPN.
And mind you, he still has all his rights to his own show on YouTube. So he's making the YouTube money.
And he's making TikTok money.
So he's at ESPN. College Game Day separate. That's a separate paycheck. Even though it's ESPN, it's separate. Then you've got WWE, YouTube, and he's got his own like brand for the brand stuff. He's got ambassadorship on a lot of other things. Plus, he's tied with the NFL with the NFL rights.
I'm going to declare neutrality.
That's a big word for you.
For Pat McAfee.
That's a big word for you.
I've come to, at times,
say it.
Enjoy.
Say it.
Pat McAfee.
There you go.
But
let it out.
The enjoyment does not overshadow the amount of hatred that I have for this man.
I will say this though.
Fuck the Colts.
He does. Fair. I will say he does make it entertaining. He is. I will say though he was a little lackluster. He's a little ring rusty. I could tell he hadn't gotten in his groove in a while.
I'm waiting for Shinsuke to come out, him get up on that chair, and the chair
shit.
goes out from under him, and he just goes to the announce table.
I was waiting for it too. So the Women's Royal Rumble, it was predictable all the way through. Can we go back to our receipts?
Who else came back though?
Who else came back?
Well, who else was in it?
Liv Morgan.
Yeah,
Liv was back. That was our only other person that came back.
When her music hit, and I was like,
I was kind of surprised. I really was at 30, nonetheless. I was
so happy.
I was happy to see her. She had her attire was an homage to Christina Aguilera.
Yes.
So it was really good to see her. Plus, she lives there.
Yeah.
She lives in Florida. She lives in the Tampa area.
Lives in Florida, Tampa.
So we go through the whole thing. We go back to our receipts. I believe we both did call the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble. Bailey. It was I wouldn't say as predictable as it could have been, but we knew because there was no other person that had a storyline. Oh, there was one other person that came.
Maxine Dupree. She did not look good.
So
her little tilt-a-whirl head scissor thing that she did twice.
Well, so you could tell she missed her mark because she did a thank you and then she got hit instantly and then tried to do it again and it kind of did something the second time. Then the key.
Well, it was really funny because the second time Bailey just stood there like,
what are we doing here? I know I'm talking about
Nia Jax.
No. We're getting closer. We're talking about
Piper Niven.
And she was there. Actually, speaking of her partner, she lasted longer than 7 seconds this time. Her last.
5.
Was it 5?
Yeah.
No, we're talking about the ring beginning times of Jade Cargill.
Oh, Bianca Belair.
No, no, the other one, Jade Cargill.
Okay, we acknowledged it. Let's move on.
Well, we have to acknowledge one thing. She lifted up Nia Jax with ease and put her on her shoulders with ease. That woman's huge.
It's because she used to be a man.
I
said it.
It's gonna be out.
Nah.
My God. I will say though.
Swinging dick.
Oh my God. Did it twitch at the
It's got
end?
a wrist.
Did it twitch at the? Yeah. Does it
Got
do?
an elbow!
Does it do like wrist curls?
Yeah. Well, the rest of her's jacked.
It's true. The world freaked out with her entrance into the Royal Rumble. But Bayley rightfully deserves, like we said last week, she is the last of the women's 4 horsewomen that came up
To get a big match.
to get a big match win and also win Royal Rumble too.
To get a title shot at WrestleMania.
Yeah. She was, with her heel turn several years ago and stayed heel and not being the hugger and not being the world class person that she was, and now she's the best heel she's ever been. She even at one point acknowledged Michael Cole.
I think she's going to turn face again
after she wins the championship or before she wins the championship.
I think she's going to turn on Damage Control, or they're going to turn on her because the way things have been going, Dakota Kai has become the mouthpiece of Damage Control.
Have you noticed on Monday night, she wasn't wearing the knee brace. Yeah. She's finally, they haven't announced that she's healthy. I don't
know if she's 100% healthy.
It's like they haven't announced that she's healthy, but she's finally got the knee brace off. She was in the ring. What was weird about Monday night, though, is that they put them all in the ring before Bayley's music, and it came right out of commercial, and they were all in the ring. I didn't like that, but that's just, I digress. The Women's Royal Rumble. I'm happy Bayley won. She does deserve it. Kudos to her. We'll go into a little bit of this before we have to take our break on the Spotify podcast side. The next match, the second match, was the world title match.
Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship.
Were you shocked that it was at 2?
No.
Not at 2. You were not shocked that it came out at 2. No. I thought it was going to be Logan, Kevin, and then Roman.
Nope. Logan and Kevin was, as much as a lot of people might disagree with this, Logan and Kevin was a bigger marquee match.
Well, to be fair, it was the more unpredictable winner match. It was going to be who both people could win. Both could be, shenaniganed up. Both could be, okay, somebody could take this title into WrestleMania. We don't know who it was going to be. Overall, I thought that one, yes, you are correct. With that being said, I'm not going to dive into it. We'll go through the break, and then we'll have some fun on the YouTube. At the same time, we'll be right back.
The correct setup for Royal Rumble.
Well, like the year
when Edge came back.
So that was
21, I think.
No, 20. It was before right before COVID. It was February of 20 when they did the Royal Rumble, because that was the same year God bless, Drew won the year that Edge came back. Diamondbacks Chase Field was built perfectly because they came right out of the dugout, right to the center where it was, and it was built perfectly. I completely agree. Tropicana Field is not built that way. No. It's in a dome. Don't get me wrong, I love domes. Also, it's just not built that way. Tropicana's old. It's an older stadium. You could tell it's an old stadium. We saw that photo from the nosebleed of the Trop where you have so if you don't know Tropicana Field.
And it was behind the WrestleMania sign.
Yeah, so if you don't know Tropicana Field, it is a dome. It is a circular dome. It is a dome. Where you're sitting in the nosebleeds at the Trop, there's a catwalk that's literally all the way around. They had a person who was sitting in the nosebleeds behind the catwalk where you could see WrestleMania sign in front of them, and then an itty bitty tiny ring. Would you pay $100 to not be able to see anything?
Absolutely not.
Like, it's got to be worth it.
Did you see the video of the $10,000 ticket?
Mm-hmm.
That was right there,
mm-hmm.
just by the ring steps. I was like,
so that was the guy that said, "Here's my seat. I'm going to watch everybody." And there was that, what's her name from NXT?
Tiffany Stratton.
When Tiffany did her little swanton off of, he's right there. Would you have paid $10,000? If money was no object, would you have paid $10,000 to sit right there?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
So I know. Okay, I wasn't asking. It wasn't. I normally think out these questions ahead of time. But if money was no object, and you had to choose
if I had fuck you money,
if you
absolutely.
okay, so if you had to choose the pay-per-view of your choice to sit ringside for, what's the one that you would sit ringside for, excluding WrestleMania? That's different. WrestleMania is its own thing. If you had to choose to sit ringside for a main event, old pay-per-view, new pay-per-view, anything pay-per-view-esque, what's the ringside seat that you would sit at?
I realistically probably Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
And I would want to sit exactly in that seat where that guy was.
Right next to the ring
because
steps.
He's here, and the ring steps are
right there.
Right here.
Yeah. So you're saying Royal Rumble would be your one where you'd spend that money. That one.
Either this seat or the seat over.
Okay.
Because his view here was kind of obstructed by the ring post.
Fair.
But
you know what the worst one would have been? That doesn't exist anymore. What ringside seat would have been the worst?
The opposite side in the corner.
Imagine being ringside for the Punjabi prison match.
Yeah, let's go!
Seriously, can you imagine sitting there going, 3 levels of bamboo and I can't see anybody.
Can't see shit.
There's humans.
I can't see the forest for the trees.
I know there's a giant big show inside of there, but I can't see him.
I know there's a large human in there.
That would have been one of the worst. I also wouldn't want to see Hell in a Cell from the outside either. I can't imagine, because even on the TV, it's obstructed. You're having to look through the chain link.
I mean, Hell in a Cell might not be bad. I wouldn't want to sit ringside for Elimination Chamber.
No, I wouldn't either. Same thing. Well, old Elimination Chamber, I'm in for. New Elimination Chamber, I don't like. Not a fan. Hate it. To this day, hate it.
The old chamber that was like, what was it, 2 miles of chain? Or
rustic metal. Everything. Loved it.
I loved the chamber itself, but I would not want to sit ringside and watch
it. No, but that was my favorite one.
Realistically, if I could go back
any pay-per-view
to any pay-per-view ever,
I'm talking like the history. Wow, you're gonna dig. I was thinking you had something on the top of your brain.
No, I'm thinking like WCW maybe.
Of course, it's WCW. I'm surprised you didn't go ECW inside of the.
Probably like an NWO Sold Out or something like that.
Or the one where it was all sponsored by the NWO years.
Yeah,
and you're talking like prime NWO, not like expansion NWO.
Right. No, I'm talking like Sold Out from probably 1997 because that card, it was like, I think it was X-Pac and Eddie Guerrero for the Cruiserweight title and the Outsiders versus the Steiner brothers and something like that. But honestly, any pay-per-view ever, all companies, Royal Rumble, 1992.
That's a great Royal Rumble. Why is that a great Royal Rumble to you?
Because that's the year Flair won it.
We talked about that. I think we just talked about that personally. I don't think we talked about it last week on the podcast. I think we just talked about it personally. How he won it. The final 3 members in that.
We talked about it on the podcast.
The final 3: Hulk, Sid. It was
Sid Justice.
I always call him Sid Vicious because that was his name.
Psycho
Sid, and then Flair.
Yeah.
Hogan helping fucking Flair.
He wasn't helping him on purpose. He just had a hold of Sid's arm and was like, "Motherfucker, I'm gonna pull you over."
Every time I think of Sid, though, I think of him breaking his leg. Every time, like I just think of it snapping in the ring. So we'll go back into Royal Rumble. The Fatal 4-Way. So we said last week there was going to be shenanigans. We did. We hoped it wouldn't be, but there was going to be shenanigans.
And there was.
Only by one, but we knew it was going to be that.
To a point, though, because Solo didn't use the spike and then Roman take the hit.
No.
So the spike happened probably 7-ish minutes before the end of the match.
Yeah, and that was when they
So,
started piling people on top of people.
Theoretically, with an asterisk, Roman won that match clean.
Now, I do have a question. I'll get your opinion on it, and I'll tell you mine. At the end of the match, so you're talking like everything's starting to scramble, where people are starting to do their finish and stuff. Do you think, I know my opinion, do you think it was a botch at the end where AJ was supposed to do a phenomenal forearm and the ropes got hit and he fell? Do you think it was a botch or do you think it was planned?
Pretty sure it was planned.
See,
you want to know why it was planned? Because it was live.
We do it live?
Yes.
We do it live?
Yes.
All
Everything that happens on a live show is supposed to happen. Ask Bruce Pritchard.
So you're talking about the double concussion a couple weeks ago? That was supposed to happen?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, sure. Because that's what the script says.
Yep.
So it was really funny. Okay, I have to take a break on this one.
Honestly, I think that was supposed to happen.
You think so? So then AJ sold it like crazy then, because the way I saw it, I thought it looked like a botch. That that Randy missed his spot, and he hit the ropes, and it jingle, 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 and boom.
I'm pretty sure that was supposed to happen. However, I think AJ fucked up the landing.
Oh, where he actually fell off of the ring apron and fell to the ground?
Where he took the ropes, because typically when you fall like that, you take the ropes here.
Not on your face? Not on mid-chest into your face?
Yeah.
Where he had the massive whiplash and you saw his head flop back?
Yeah. So if that was a botch, it's on AJ.
Fair. We knew for a fact that Roman's not losing the title at Royal. It's only destined for him to lose it at
Extreme Rules.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fastlane.
Again too. It's only destined at gross at Mania. But I will break this for a second because I got to watch the Royal Rumble with my family. And not by just any member of my family. I got to watch it with my father.
And your mom.
So my mom, she was watching, but my dad kept on looking and doing commentary. And it was the best thing in the whole wide world because he doesn't know the names of the people. He's only basing it off what they're doing, what they're wearing, what they look. So I had quite literally the best viewing experience I could. I need him at every single time I watch a Royal. I need him to watch it because he would so okay, for example, Nia Jax was in the ring. He doesn't know who Nia Jax is, he doesn't know her name. He's looking at his phone, he looks and goes, "Why is Jenny from the Block in the ring?" And I look up and I go, "Who's Jenny from the Block?" He goes, "That one. The one in the middle. Why is Jenny the Block from the ring?" And I go, "That's funny." I was crying. I think I got to go back. I think I was texting my sister at one point. Oh my god! Where is it? I was texting my sister.
Oh my god, that's funny.
I couldn't have laughed any harder for the sum of these things. Where is it? Did I say anything?
That's fantastic.
There's nothing. Okay, I just talked to her in person, on FaceTime. I was dying because he just kept on saying the smallest little things. He goes, "I don't get it. So is these supposed to? How are they gonna?" The words were, "Who's gonna lift her over? She's huge." And I go, "Yeah, that's the point. She's a big girl. This is how it works." And my mom goes, "Is this all scripted?" I go,
scripted is a loose term.
It's a glorified. What do you call it? It's a soap opera, but it's also
a violent ballet.
A violent ballet. So I got to listen to my dad make the best commentary I've ever heard of in my life, and I need him to do it now every single time. So I might force my father to watch pay-per-views and record his reactions because it's gold. It is fantastic.
Andy asked me, she's like, "Do you want to go watch with Justin?" I was like, "No, I'm gonna watch at home." Damn it!
And you didn't get to even watch it until
it was
later
like
that evening
10:30.
anyway.
Yeah.
We had I laughed so hard. He go and I said, I need to watch these with you all the time. It made my day. Anyways, we go back to the Fatal 4-Way. I liked some of the artistry in the match. I did like the fact that they stacked all the bodies at one point, and
there should have been a pinfall.
I agree.
However,
it didn't happen.
Shoulder was down.
Yeah.
The second guy.
Another comment from my dad. Speaking of that Fatal 4-Way, he goes, "Referee got hurt." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Watch him slide." So when they slide him, his leg hits the bottom rope and it falls, and he goes, "Broken." And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Watch him." And he got like, "Oh, he's limping." He goes, "Yeah, he's doing real good at faking it." I go, "I don't think that's fake. I think he's really hurt right now." He was like looking at these tiny little things. Like, oh, my mom at one point goes, "Why are they wearing tight, like tiny little like underwear?" I go, "They're called trunks." She goes, "They need to wear pants." Also, that means our shirt of all shirts.
Yeah.
This man needs pants. To be fair, most of the people in that match, actually all the people in that match, they didn't need pants, so they're totally fine.
Jesus.
Uh-oh. What happened? What happened? Wow. It's a break in the chain of your armor.
Hootie got arrested.
Like Darius Rucker?
Yeah.
For public intoxication?
Was arrested in Tennessee, according to Williamson County Sheriff's Office. Rucker was charged with simple possession, casual exchange, and violation of registration law.
So he had a gun?
No. Literally.
Because he had marijuana.
He bought drugs and got caught.
So Hootie had blow. Or marijuana. Probably had weed.
He paid a $10,500 fine. And is free. Free at last! Free at last!
How apropos.
Thank God Almighty, he is free at last.
Man, you don't look like the king. Wow. Interesting. Anyways, I like them. I did. Fatal 4-Way was meh. It was meh. It was a match that we knew that was going to happen.
I mean, we got all the spots.
Everybody got their finishers. Everybody got their things. Roman's the winner. Cool.
Surprise!
Now, the Logan Paul Kevin Owens match, you know,
not gonna lie, I skipped through it like till probably the last 2 minutes of the match.
I will say, for being, and we've given him kudos, even though he's not a WWE wrestler. We've given him kudos. He does train. He does the work. He's not just like a random one-off where he's in the ring for like when Green Arrow did it like all those years ago.
ML?
Yes, thank you. When he now obviously he has the show and he's done this thing, but at that time he was just a fan and did it. But Logan does the work. He does the things he needs to do. Kevin Owens is probably the best partner he could have against, just for the sake of
being able to carry a match,
likability, being able to do it. I did not like the ending. We knew buffoonery would happen, but the likeliness of...
Hold on, I need to check my receipts here.
Are they on the ground?
Logan Paul. Yeah.
Well, we knew the brass knuckles have been in every single one of his matches.
I think we're going to see them again.
Yeah.
At the Elimination Chamber, and then Logan will win. Again.
You think so?
Again.
At Elimination Chamber?
And then Logan's going to come out on SmackDown and be like, "I'm done with you, blah, blah, blah." And he's going to get interrupted by LA Knight. And LA Knight's going to be like,
"Yeah,
let me talk to you."
Let me talk to you.
And then...
Have you ever thought that LA Knight kind of sounds like Crunk from Emperor's New Groove?
No.
I have.
But then it will eventually progress to Logan Paul, LA Knight, WrestleMania.
And you said that a couple weeks ago. You're like adamant that it's going to happen.
Pretty sure that's what's going to happen.
Obviously, so with the way it ended with Logan gonna use his little punch, and Kevin took the knocks
This
out.
weapon of mass destruction.
Gross. And then Kevin he used it and then went for the pin. I found it funny though. Somebody goes, you know how it's weird is that the refs are always blind. Oh man, can't see it. I don't know what's going on. And then all of a sudden, the one time the referee, all right, put the contacts in there, he can see the brass knuckles all of a sudden. Oh, don't even. I know where you're gonna keep it. Keep it in your body. Don't. You've already said a lot of things tonight. Keep it in. Suck it in. Suck it in.
God damn it. Okay.
Suck it in. So then, when Kevin wins, I can't with you. I can't. Are you gonna explode?
Fucking maybe.
Just
It's painful.
breathe it out, bud. You can do this. Wow. So, men's Royal Rumble. So, I read something today, and I think it's funny. Did you read that a Hall of Famer declined being a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble?
Was it Bill Goldberg?
No.
Oh.
Actually, it's a part of your favorite faction, and I mean that in all nicest and sincerity, from your favorite faction of all time.
Was it Sean Waltman?
No.
Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash.
He fucking... I love Kevin Nash.
Double knee replacement Kevin Nash.
Love Kevin Nash.
Yeah, you do. You love Kevin.
And he's in great shape.
Now,
but
after double knee replacement and his son dying,
he can't go.
And his best friend's not here anymore.
He can't go.
So his reasoning, and you'll love his reasoning. So Paul called him and said, we want you to be a surprise entrance into the Royal Rumble. And he said, Paul, the Lions are playing on Sunday. No. So Kevin Nash said no to the Royal Rumble because he said, I'd rather watch the Lions on Sunday.
I don't blame him. I mean, in hindsight, the Lions choked on it. But
yeah. How does it feel to see your worst team in the Super Bowl? How do you feel about Patricia being in the Super Bowl?
I'm Matt Patricia?
No. I would rather see him in there. I'm talking about Kermit the Frog going in there and playing quarterback.
You're talking about Taylor Swift and her Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about, the guy who throws the ball to that other guy.
Travis Kelce?
Yeah, he throws it to him.
Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, he's indeed. He was hurt.
Andy Reid.
Dude, my dad kept on calling him Wilford Brimley. It's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Did you hear what he said about Kadarius Toney?
That he was injured?
No.
Oh, what?
He's like, and in the words of Patrick, Kadarius Toney and his brick-ass hands can stay on the bench.
Stop.
Said it at a press conference.
Wilford Brimley said that?
Yes.
It's fantastic. The good old walrus himself?
That was probably the funniest thing I've ever heard Andy Reid say.
To be fair, though, he's not wrong.
Kadarius Toney and his brick-ass hands.
I was like... There's a reason why the Giants didn't want him anymore.
Because he's a locker room cancer.
No, it's because he can't catch the damn ball.
Kind of like Chad Ochocinco.
I like Chad.
What's up, Chad?
So was that Chad? Was that Brad? Yeah, my dad kept on doing funny comments about like Wolfie. He said, "Oh, there's Wilford Brimley, diabetes."
So, obviously, Brock was supposed to be in this role.
So that goes back to the lawsuit thing. Obviously he was supposed to be there. He's not there,
and we got Braun Breaker instead.
What was funny about that is that was the last minute phone call. I think the night before, if I read that correctly, it was the night before, and everything had blown up.
Yeah.
And they said we got to find somebody, and obviously Tampa's right there. He was not supposed to be involved, and you're like, well, why not put Braun Breaker in there? Why not?
Yeah,
why not put him in there?
Well, and then he comes in there. They clocked him at
23 miles an hour
off the road.
Holy crap.
It's faster than Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. Can you imagine, though, that big brick man
spearing you at 23 miles an hour? I am all the way out.
Dude, it was a brown blur. That tan blur just running back and forth.
All the way out.
Now, we skipped something that I know you loved. At number 3, Andrade El
They didn't use the good music, though.
No,
because all it was Andrade.
But did you notice, though, that they're going to use El Idolo, though?
Yes.
Did you notice? Because it's not Andrade.
No, because he owns the rights to El Idolo.
Yeah, well, what was it? But it wasn't that before.
It's not Cien Almas anymore.
It wasn't the first time when he was there and did his run. Right. But Andrade looked great.
Yeah.
Obviously, he looked great in AEW too. But
so speaking of Andrade,
also, did you check those receipts? Because was that on your receipt? Yeah. It was right there. But make sure.
So I saw the video of the guy that makes a lot of the masks.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the video of him making that mask for Andrade.
Really?
It was fucking sweet.
It looked really cool. I liked it. I really liked it. Was that our only big one? So it was Andrade, Braun Breaker. Oh, and then the return of Omos. Omos's return for since it's been a while.
It's a good thing Pat McAfee was wearing dark pants.
That was the funniest thing. Now, the original plan, obviously, was so Pat was supposed to go into the ring, but it was supposed to be Brock Lesnar, Omos, and then him. And
Pat was supposed to square up to Brock, and Brock was just going to pick him up and throw him out.
I liked this version. I liked this better. One,
I enjoyed watching Pat McAfee shit all over himself. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, when we all heard "Let's go," and even Michael Cole goes, "Time to shine," he's in snakeskin boots, his skinny pants, and I'm like, this ain't gonna happen.
He wasn't ready.
And when he got up there, and his comment when he back to what is that thing? They're not supposed to be that big.
I didn't know that they came in that size.
And I love that he went in, got out, went back in. Can't do. And then went back, and then gone. I love that Braun Breaker eliminated Omos
by himself.
And I hope. But also tying into Braun Breaker, I love what he's doing with Baron Corbin in NXT right now. I love their tag team with what they call it. It's not the Lone Wolves.
Don't you fucking say it. Don't you fucking say it.
Why?
Do you remember what it is?
Okay, hold on. Because they joked about it this past week on NXT, and it was something with the Wolves, because obviously he's the Lone Wolf, but it was like the Wolf, not Wolf Pack. Pack of Wolves, something like that. What is it?
Nope.
What is it?
Mm-mm.
What is it?
Nope.
Fine. I will look it up and say it, because it's worth it. It's worth it.
It's horrible.
No, it's not.
I hate it.
Why?
Because.
Why do you hate it?
Baron Corbin has been relegated to being a joke.
We've known that.
And I also hate that.
Okay, for one reason, why do you hate it?
Because I like Baron Corbin.
Why? Why do you like him so much?
Because?
That's what it's called. I remember now.
No, you didn't remember. You had to look it up.
I remember him saying it, and then because Braun Breaker left it, Kevin saying, "Oh, you're saying it now? You're saying it now?" Because Baron Corbin didn't like it. The Wolf Dogs.
So fucking stupid. So stupid.
The Wolf Dogs. You didn't like that? He started calling them more and more often. They're going to win the Dusty Classic in the NXT.
I don't know that they will.
Do you think they're going to lose to
Trick Mellow Gang?
Dude, I think they're going to end up having their fallout, and it's going to be during the Classic, the finale. Because this past week on NXT, because Carmelo Hayes, obviously, in the Royal Rumble, and then Trick shows up on SmackDown, and neither one of them, obviously their thing was to not plan, and they're a tag team. I think they're going to self-destruct.
I think it depends on Trick Williams isn't going to beat Ilya Dragunov.
No, Dragunov's too good.
But I think it's going to come down to Trick being like, why weren't you there? Why didn't you have my back? Yada yada.
They've done that several times now. It's just, I think, Trick.
This will be the final.
It's their final thing, and then
blow up
at WrestleMania, the night after, the Monday night after WrestleMania, he'll make it. Carmelo will join. It's going to be a lot of call-ups the night after.
So here's what I'm thinking. So I think with Brock Lesnar being gone, insert Braun Breaker. So that being said, I think that at WrestleMania we might get Braun Breaker versus Gunther.
So I read something that with Braun Breaker. So obviously we know he took over Brock's spot, and the original plan was Brock to be a part of a lot of more pay-per-views going up into WrestleMania. His little run that he always does.
Right.
And the original plan was Brock getting eliminated by Dirty Dom, and Dom eliminated Braun Breaker. So they're thinking that there will be a feud between Braun and Dirty Dom because Dom's been in NXT.
He's going to kill Dominic Mysterio.
Very much so. But because Dom's been in NXT, Braun's been there. I can see that they would start forming it. I like Braun in the main roster over NXT. He's way better than the roster in NXT. He needs to be up. Plus, he thoroughly proved it at the Royal Rumble. We're going to take a break on the audio side. We'll be right back.
But he just had this one fucking innocuous blob on his abdomen, and it was like, that's supposed to be part of the six pack. Instead, it's just like a mass of goo.
All right, so now we got to get to the best part of your favorite part of the Royal Rumble. So
Jimmy and Jay facing off.
That was amazing.
Jimmy looked fucking nuts.
I love that main event. I love that he came out first, but then the natural reaction of Jay coming, and then the arena and
drop was fucking
just
bouncing, dude.
I loved that I love that WWE did it, because them both going out there and then doing the square off face off, and then it's just there, and you feel the moment and the way. And I know you don't like Michael Cole, but the way he lined it up, saying this is the glorifiably best tag team of our generation. All the history with the bloodline, with them coming in together, with the family, with the lineage, and now they're dismembered and they're on their own and squaring up and seeing it. One, you now know who's better. You can see it clearly who's the better of the two.
Yeah.
Like, you just know.
I've known that for a long time.
That's why he's the main event guy. It's just who he is.
The only way that they could have made that better was have Solo come out at 3.
I completely agree. I thought it was an injustice thing that Solo wasn't in the Rumble. I thought there was some people that did not belong in there.
I'm also, so there were a lot of names that weren't in the Rumble that it's like, what?
Yeah.
Chad Gable.
Yep. Otis. We did have one half of the Viking Raiders. The other half is still hurt.
Yep.
But I did like that he was in there. But AOP.
Well,
but they're in there. But AOP, that could have been another thing for them.
They've only been back for a couple weeks, though.
But think about this: if you put in your guy who you love very deeply, if you put him in there and then have AOP come out and do their thing,
Well, they did.
Yeah, but still, you know what? It was kind of nice to I would have nice to seen them in there. There was a lot of other names that should have been involved with the Rumble.
Neither one of the Prophets were in it.
Nope. But they came out to help out Bobby later. It's just, there were some. I thought it was just they did the royal weird.
How about Santos Escobar trying to get Andrade to do the, and Andrade's like, nope.
So there was
Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, I thought about that one. There was a funny video from a guy that was ringside after Carlito did his whole thing with the apple. The apple was put on the corner, and this guy had his phone out. He goes, Andrade! And Andrade's like doing, and he goes, apple! And Andrade looks, he goes, and throws the apple back into the crowd and goes, ah! And Andrade goes, eh. I'm like,
That's fantastic.
you know what? Awesome. Because you couldn't have done that in AEW.
Speaking of Andrade, have you seen the videos of Charlotte doing rehab?
Her rehab is amazing.
She's doing fucking great. Dude.
She's on the same path like Aaron Rodgers with his Achilles. She's gonna be back quicker than we think.
Oh yeah.
Now it's not gonna be. It's not WrestleMania.
Night after Mania.
You think she'll be back after that? 4 months?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. Well, look at Logan Paul.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Logan Paul tore his Achilles and he came back 4 months later.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Medical advances.
So we now get to the end of the Royal Rumble. Cody went in earlier
15.
Earlier than I was anticipating. I thought he was like at least like 21 or 22. No, 15. Good old 2 Bill Phil.
5 Bill.
I don't know. I'm calling him 2 because he's lost a couple things in that.
James E. Cornette. 5 Bill Phil.
Okay. So 5 Bill Phil, he's in there. Who was the final 4? I got to remember them all now. So 5 Bill Phil, CM Punk, Cody. Wasn't
Drew McIntyre.
Oh, because he got eliminated by Punk. Who was the 4th one? Was it Damien? Or was it no Gunter? Sorry, it was Gunter.
Also, time out right there. Have you seen Drew McIntyre trolling the shit out of CM Punk on social media?
Everything. His TikTok is full of it. His Twitter, his Instagram.
Did you see his tricep workout video? Never skip tricep day. He's like, because you don't want to blow out your triceps.
So there was another
doing the big R-Truth wink. It's like, I fucking love this.
He retweeted one. There was a get well soon CM Punk, and then he had one going.
Or the CM Punk's WrestleMania Dreams, R.I.P.
Oh, have him in front of the gravestone. Oh my god! I think
I fucking love it. Dude.
So I went back and I watched that part. When did he tear it? And then I saw it was Drew's the one that did it.
Literally,
like Drew's
when he threw Drew over. Yeah,
and you see him land on his arm, and he holds it instantly. And if you all didn't know, Punk was supposed to win it. It was written the way it was written. Punk was supposed to win. And then when it was funny, you can see the visual change because Punk whispers something to Cody during the middle of their exchange. He can't even lift him. Like he tries to go to sleep and he can't lift him. It's not possible. He can't even lift his arm up to do it. And you can see him going, I can't. And you hear it auditorially with Michael Cole. Because Michael Cole said something along the lines of, Punk looks a little rusty right now. Maybe the time to shine for Cody to finish his story. And you can tell something was said. And then the referees who are around them all have earpieces, probably whispered something to the guys going, change it.
Yep.
Flip it. Because anytime he tried to do anything against Cody couldn't do it. It wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to work. And then when Cody wins, it puts him in the category with only a couple people. The last person to do it was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
There are 3 people in history that have won it back to back.
Stone Cold Shawn Michaels. Who's the other? It's going to bother me because I remember seeing it. It's Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels.
He's your favorite of all time ever.
Oh, I forgot. Hulkamania. I forgot early years. I will say this. I would rather have seen him win it.
Cody?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Now, Gunter doesn't deserve it because he has a title. I thought Drew is getting the shaft like it's nobody's business right now. And it's building a really good storyline. but it's also pissing me off because they're doing Drew so dirty on so many things right now.
So that being said, how about on Monday, Seth coming out and effectively trying to convince Cody to face Seth instead of Roman.
So there's a reason for that. Did you read about this? Because I read this.
I didn't.
Okay, so I think it's great, and I think it brings a storyline in there because there's a dual possibility. So as of right now, it's not inked in contractual agreements for The Rock to do WrestleMania. It's been talks. It's out there. It's probably going to happen. But what they did on Monday was the backup plan. The backup plan, if The Rock can't do it, it's Cody and Seth for that title instead of Cody, Roman, and Rock. And it is so that's why how Cody ended it on Monday was, I'll think about it.
Yeah.
Because they don't know if Dwayne's doing Mania yet. So they had to have a backup plan in case it doesn't work. But I like it. I do like it. We also have our theories that Gunther will challenge Seth for the title. But I also don't think they're going to make him a double champ with Intercontinental and World Heavyweight.
I also read an interesting possibility about another legend coming back to challenge Gunther.
Who?
Goldberg.
Gross.
Goldberg.
Seriously? Really?
Yep.
When did you read that one?
I actually read that today.
Really?
Now, do I believe it? No.
I don't.
Because I was like, as interesting as that could possibly be, I don't want to see that.
I don't think.
Thanks, Sportskeeda. You suck.
I don't think anybody would want to see that. Honestly, I think where we're at right now, going into the road to WrestleMania.
How many? Because there's what, 2 pay-per-views left?
You've got Elimination Chamber, which is in a couple of weeks. You'll have Fastlane, which will be in March, and then WrestleMania. So you have 2 more pay-per-views going into WrestleMania.
Well, then why in the hell were they saying that Elimination Chamber's in April?
No. Elimination Chamber's in February in Perth.
Okay. So then Conrad
messed that one up.
Didn't have his
stuff straight. Yeah, no. February
24th.
Yeah, because my family's in town, and
there is no March pay-per-view.
So they're just going to do a build up to WrestleMania.
Because Mania.
Oh, it's the first weekend in April. First weekend in April.
6th and 7th.
Yeah. So, that would make sense because it's the end of February. Okay, so it's usually
and then
it's Fastlane and then Backlash.
Backlash May 4th.
Yep, which is in Germany. No, France. It's in Paris. It's in Paris.
Lyon, France. Do we not have a June pay-per-view either?
There's probably a June one. They just probably
no, there isn't.
Really? So they're probably doing the European tour out there.
Dude, this is weird. February, April, May, July, August.
You know what though? I did read that Paul did say they're going to start eliminating the 12 pay-per-view schedule, and they're going to start trying to have health over contractual things. I did remember reading that.
I mean, I think it's smart, but if you're going to do that, why are 1, 2, 3, 4 of your pay-per-views outside of the country?
Well, I think Paul is smart, and he's trying to do global ambassadorship over.
It's not Paul. It's Nick.
Nick. Regardless of who it is, I think they're wanting to go more globally than Vince ever did, because Vince, all he ever cared about was the money with the Saudis. That's it. Because if you think about it,
well, notice there's no Saudi Arabia PLEs.
Good.
Agreed.
Good.
But it's bad enough that we're gonna have to fucking watch a pay-per-view that's in France at noon.
So the Elimination Chamber one starts here at I think it said I gotta remember now. It's a 23-hour difference. Yeah. So if I remember 6 a.m.
6 or 7.
I think it's 6 a.m. here.
Will it be?
So it'd be 6 p.m. No,
it would be 6 p.m. here the day before. So
I remember it being in the morning. If I remember correctly, the Elimination Chamber one, it's in the morning or mid-afternoon here, because I remember it's on a Saturday on the 24th. And it's at an obscure time. I think it's 10, actually, now that I remember.
2024, the early morning. So let's see.
It had to have been 10 a.m. It's a 23-hour difference?
Gross.
What time?
6 a.m.
Yeah.
Eastern.
So it's 5 a.m. here. I knew it was something early here. 5 a.m. start time here because of, global ambassadorship, because we have the Australians. Also, oh, by the way, obviously we know CM Punk, he's going to be out. He's gone for a while. He's done. And we're happy about it. I also read something about some of our people in AEW leaving after their contracts are up too.
Yeah.
Part of our favorite trios team in AEW.
Honestly, what would happen if the entire house just came?
I'd love it.
Yeah.
But we change it back from Malachi Black to
Aleister Black.
And they have rights to the House of Black in AEW, so what would you change it to?
Kings of the Black Throne.
Ooh. I would love it. Don't get me wrong. I think it'd be great.
Because Malachi and Brody own the rights to that.
Also, I'm also really sad to say, and I hate it, and you'll have to give me your opinion. I hate it. I don't like AEW right now. And it hurts. I'm
not the only one.
I never thought I'd say that. I really didn't.
Realistically, the only thing right now that AEW has going for it is the fact that they are promoting Sting's last match so fucking hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's really sad. Remember, 3 years ago when we were sitting on our couch, this couch over a couple doors down.
Yeah.
We sat there
and 3 doors down.
Not the band, though. Not the band.
Okay.
But we sat there and we said, you know what? I think we're done with WWE. It's over. AEW is going to win. AEW is doing things that they should have been doing years ago. And we said, you know what? I don't think they're ever going to produce anything great like this ever again.
And now we flipped the script.
I look forward to Monday Night Raws and Friday Night SmackDowns now.
Yeah.
And this sounds so terrible. I don't thoroughly. I can watch AEW on DVR.
The only thing that I look forward to seeing on AEW right now is Swerve.
Not Nicholas.
And Matthew.
I don't want to go into the bashing of AEW because I think Chris Van Vliet said it the best, and we said it months ago too. This is the best time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Every promotion that's out there is giving stuff that we've wanted to see for 20 years.
Yeah.
We're seeing the resurrection of TNA. We're seeing like literally the resurrection of TNA. Yeah. We're seeing brand new promotion with AEW now 5 years in. We're seeing the resurrection of WWE. We're seeing.
I wouldn't say resurrection. I would say turnaround.
Yeah. Okay. Best way of putting it. We're seeing the rise in New Japan on a more global scale, on a more Western culture than we've ever seen.
Did you see that Okada's moving to the U.S.?
And also getting citizenship to be here as well. That also further proves that he's going to go to WWE. And honestly, I don't blame him. I think I think
he's gonna resurrect the what was it on? Oh God, what was it on MTV? The wrestling show that was on MTV.
Oh, you're talking about the Claymation show?
No.
Wrestling show on MTV.
Wrestling Society X.
Oh my lord! Let me dust off some cobwebs real quick. Holy crap! I think thoroughly. He will sign.
See something funny? There's some pretty familiar faces in that picture for Wrestling Society X there.
X-Pac, Seth. Is that Raven?
Where?
No, that's the Crow. I apologize.
Over here on the end?
Yeah.
That's Vampiro.
Holy crap. He looks like Raven.
Yeah.
With white face paint.
He always had white face paint. I had that shirt.
I bet you did. I think Okada signing, when he does sign with a WWE, I think it's the best move for him too.
Yeah. And actually New Jack on the end.
I love New Jack at this fork of death. I think he even said it. He started off in AAA. He did the independent circuit. He signed with New Japan and went back home. And he even said it's time for a new challenge. And AEW is not a new challenge. He's been there. He may not have, signed with All Elite Wrestling, but with the co-sponsorship with New Japan and AEW, he's done AEW. The only thing left to conquer for him is WWE. And honestly, this is the perfect time to do it. And can you imagine, it's weird to even think about this on the table. Imagine Shinsuke versus Okada at a massive pay-per-view, or PLE, if you would say. I can see it. Can you think about that for a title?
For the Intercontinental Championship.
It would be the Rainmaker. Rainmaker and Shinsuke, two Japanese athletes.
Hold on. Wait a second.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Triple threat.
What other Asian?
Shinsuke Nakamura.
What other Asian are you going to throw in there?
Kazuchika Okada.
Okay.
Akira Tozawa. Arigato!
This episode of the podcast has flown so quickly.
This has been the most ridiculous we've been in a while.
It's been great. But also, I think this has been the best flowing podcast we've had in quite some time.
Also, just so you know, that referee thing, it's like right here still.
Keep it there. Digest it. Crap it out later. Because your yellow fever's showing up a little bit, bud, and I need you to stop. I will say this whole week of wrestling has been mainly around WWE because honestly, that's where all the news has been.
Because Vince shit the bed.
He did other things with shit too, but we won't go into that. No, it's doc. If you really, like we said at the beginning, if you really want to know what he did, it's documented. It's out there. God, it's hurting you.
He pooped on her. I'm sorry, that one came out.
That's what he said too. Ladies and gentlemen, I got nothing more to say.
Jesus.
It's always funny when we go into these podcasts. I think, I've got stuff lined up. I've got
what
things
else did you have lined up? What else did you have to say? Did we have some trivia questions?
I always have things. What are you talking about?
I like trivia.
Well, I also want to say, who is excited about the new season on Vice TV of Dark Side of the Ring?
I saw the list.
It's a great
and I was
list.
Because isn't one of the episodes about Sandman?
Yes. It's let me make sure I get all the names correctly. But it has been announced that there's another one, another great season of Dark Side of the Ring. I gotta look at all the names. The names are amazing. I know Brutus the Barber Beefcake's in it as one of them.
You said his name wrong.
Brutus.
The fucking barber beefcake.
Wow. That was aggressive. Sandman is one of them. Anytime you can get Jim Cornette to talk about things brings you probably joy.
I love Jim Cornette.
I know you do. Because...
However, there's another personality on that show occasionally that I don't particularly care for.
Do you want to talk about?
Vince Russo.
Oh, him? Oh, I thought you were talking about somebody else.
I don't like him.
I thought you were talking about somebody else.
Don't like him. Don't like him at all.
Well, to be fair, he did ruin a lot of things. Marty Jannetty.
Marty Jannetty.
Dula the Butcher.
That'll be a good episode.
Junkyard Dog.
JYD.
Doink the Clown.
Ooh, that'll be a good one.
The Graham Dynasty.
Okay.
Chris and Tammy.
Oh, Chris Candido and Tammy Sitch. Okay.
And then I think that's it. Pretty sure there's unless there's another one that I don't know about. But I know Marty Jannetty. Oh, Bash at the Beach 2000.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, and Adrian Adonis.
Adorable Adrian Adonis.
It's going to be a really good season.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. There's another, I think I had one other thing that I wanted to briefly mention, but I don't want to mess it up. I think.
What is it?
I don't know. No.
What is it?
No, I think.
What is it?
Stop.
We have 5 minutes. What is it?
Would you stop screaming at me, sir?
No. What is it?
No.
Hurry up.
No.
Come on.
No.
Let's do this. Come on.
I'm good.
Come on. Let's do this.
What are you trying to say?
That you're scared to talk about something?
Oh, I'm never talking. You think I'm scared? Think I'm scared?
Kind of seems like it.
I ain't scared. No, honestly, it's nothing too crazy. It's stuff that I wanted to talk about, honestly, at a later podcast for the sake of WrestleMania's coming. And I wanted to talk about that. And there's also a thing that we need to try next year.
What?
For the Royal Rumble. It's a drinking game for the Royal Rumble.
We're going to have to get more than just two of us to do this.
So you pick a number of the entrant.
Oh, God. Okay.
And you have to drink consistently till they enter the ring.
So, wait.
So imagine this. If Omos, when he came out, how long it took for him to get to the ring, you're drinking until he gets both feet in the ring.
So hopefully you pick a number and somebody just goes sprinting.
Like they go straight up, like Ultimate Warrior, running as fast as they possibly can. Yeah. Imagine getting The Undertaker.
I was just thinking, at number 26, The Undertaker.
8.5 minutes later.
Numbers 27, 28, 29, and 30 all come out, and he's still walking down.
I'm almost there. Give me a second.
Jesus. Or somebody big, like Big Daddy V.
Mm-hmm.
Or like Mark Henry.
Otis. He won't sprint. He might worm the whole way there.
He might trundle.
He might caterpillar the whole way there. With that being said, this is the end of the GQ Wrestling Podcast, episode 33. We have some new social media to follow, which is kind of nice to have. You can follow us on Instagram, GQ Wrestling Podcast. Again, all one word, GQ Wrestling Podcast. You can also follow us on X, aka Twitter.
At GQ Wrestling Podcast. It's at GQA Wrestling Pod.
Yeah. And then you can also now follow us on the Tiki Talkie, where we have our clips and everything. It is GQ Wrestling Podcast. And then obviously we're on YouTube right there. Please share with your friends and family. We're also on everything you can listen to on podcasts. Spotify,
Shit,
Apple,
90
iHeart.
followers?
Yeah, well, I've been tagging you on on the TikTok stuff, so I'm hoping you start getting a little bit more following action too.
Well, honestly, 1, 2, 3 of them are from my dad's live the other night.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
With that being said, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you both, all of you who listen to us and listen to two idiots talk about wrestling. It's just, it's a lot of fun for us. Like we say every single week, thank you for listening. We appreciate you more than you know it. Who'd have thunk that we have two?
Who'd have thunk it?
Who'd have thunk it that we have two people doing this thing? We're getting closer and closer to a year of doing this. It's kind of weird to even think about that. With that being said, we bid you adieu. We thank you. Good night and bang.